Hello, my name is Uzair and thanks for joining in this video. Today I've got a very dear friend of mine, Andy from Madrid, Spain.
That's it.
And we're basking in this beautiful sunshine today in Oxfordshire, which we don't get much of in the UK.
Yes, you don't. Yeah, we're used to the good weather in Spain, and great to be here with you, Uzair.
Yeah.
I know that we've been spending, because we always spend so much time on Zoom, but finally we actually get out and do something sane and go and enjoy this beautiful UK weather for a change, right?
Absolutely.
So good.
So before we get started, Andy, just give everyone a quick intro as to who you are, what you do.
Sure. So my name is Andy Mcduff. I'm the CMO of 7 Mile Media. We run anywhere between $5 to up to $15 million in ad spend across a variety of platforms, mainly Google, Facebook, a lot in TikTok recently as well. So it's a lot of media spend, but we look at the broader picture, making sure that our clients' businesses are actually growing in a sane way, right? Without going absolutely crazy, because that's not, business is complicated. It's not just about the media. So it's a bunch of things.
So I know you guys do a lot of video ads, so let's focus on YouTube.
Sure.
And how businesses, big or small, can leverage the power of video.
Yeah.
Why is it that everybody goes on Facebook and they're kind of like scared of YouTube?
I think there's probably just and it's actually more perceived in the mind that video is hard. I've got to get on camera. I've got to prepare a script. And yes, there are those things to do, but there's I think a psychological barrier. But at the same time, if you really want to start moving forward, then you need to move into some YouTube advertising as well, because people buy from people, and the best way to reflect that and see that happening, obviously, is in video itself. They get to know whether they trust you, get a sense of whether they're going to want to work with you or not. And of course, YouTube is by far the easiest and the best platform to go for that.
And obviously Google owns YouTube, and YouTube is part of Google Ads, so you run the ads from Google Ads.
Yeah, absolutely.
So someone's brand new and starting with YouTube, what would be your first tip as to how to get started, especially with regards to the techie side of things, the video creation, editing, uploading and stuff like that?
Yeah, okay, so it's just like everything at the beginning. It's going to feel like everything's going to feel overwhelming, because when we were children, we started riding bikes, we fell over. It's going to be the same when you're doing video. You just have to accept, but avoid getting too much ego or too much concern, worried about it. It's really not that difficult, although it sounds very difficult. So when you're getting started, is just basically get used to shooting video to start with. I mean, the videos that we shoot for our clients, and most of our clients, have a kind of structure to them. You've got to try and get somebody's attention in the first few seconds. Then you've got to start giving them a little bit of advice and tips or something around that. And then you've got to actually ask them to take action, because most people will be watching videos sort of passively, but unless you ask them to be very specific, to do something, which is to click on around this ad to learn more, to go and visit our website, have a look at the latest plants that we've been putting in the garden or what have you in the nursery and so on. So you have to obviously call people, add this call to action, as we say, you know.
And shooting a video with a smartphone is more than good enough nowadays.
Oh, yes. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, no. Everyone sort of is under the impression I've got to have a teleprompter, and
Hollywood production,
special effects, and no. You just need to, you can just use your ordinary Android or iPhone, doesn't matter, just put that on a tripod. Make sure your sound is good, because most people are not so forgiving on the sound.
Exactly. I mean, we're shooting with one camera and one iPhone. But we both of us are mic'd up, and that's important because it's quite a bit windy here. So if the biggest tip we can give you, or to anyone watching this video, is make sure that you invest in a microphone. And they're not expensive. You can get it for like 20 bucks.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, you can plug it either directly into your phone, or you can have wireless. There's lots of different options out there, but you don't have to have like this. You don't need like these boom mics and like studio sound recorders around and all the rest of it. You shoot like we're doing like now in natural light. That's the best thing to do. So then you don't have a worry about the lighting, right?
Exactly.
You've done a lot of this more than I have.
And if it's not very staged, people feel that it's scripted and staged and it's set up. But if you're just shooting a video with a smartphone in your hand and you're walking along, as long as it's not very shaky, it's believable. People believe those kind of videos.
That's right.
And more of those kind of ads, which we also run, are kind of like that. And they get the most clicks and the conversions.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing, like I was mentioning, is when you're running something new, it's going to feel, it's natural to feel overwhelmed at the beginning. That's normal. You just have to move forward one step at a time, as quickly as you can, and just face those little fears, the little demons that go in one's head around being on video, and it gets easier. Just like it just gets easier with time, right?
Yeah. So if you are doing it for the first time, the first video will be the worst one, but the 10th one would be a lot better than the first one.
That's right.
And then you just keep on carrying on with those.
Exactly.
A lot of people also compare Facebook to YouTube. Because they say, oh yeah, within Facebook, within hours, I've got leads at such and such price, and YouTube I've been running for like 4 days and nothing. It's completely different networks and different channels, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, YouTube is much bigger. I mean, it's the second most visited website after Google itself. And I think Facebook at this time, at least, is around third or fourth or something like that.
TikTok,
After TikTok, I'm not too sure. They keep changing a little bit. But when you look at it, the thing with YouTube, it's a lot bigger. And you do have to be a little bit more patient. There's no doubt about it with all advertising. Unfortunately, people have the impression that you just put, I don't know, £50 in, $100, $200, and you should have, your business should be booming, right? Now, it's not that simple. You do have to be patient and wait for it. YouTube takes longer, for sure. But what we've also found, this is the flip side on YouTube, what we found just by looking at the cold, hard facts, and I'm sure you've seen the same, something similar is there. What we've seen is that the value of the client, they spend, the people that see a video, a YouTube ad, tend to spend more over their lifetime relationship with that business. So we find that, yes, you might have to be a bit patient. You've got to have a bit of cash flow and some patience to work through it at the beginning. And typically in 7 Mile, we give our clients between 4 to 6 weeks to do the initial testing. Because there's just the audiences, the creative, the video ad itself is important. But we test a lot at the beginning, like all good marketers do.
Absolutely. So if somebody who's small business and they want to start with YouTube, what sort of daily budget would you advise them to get started with?
Right. Well, if it's a local business, so if you're just advertising, like, for example, in the London area or wherever you happen to be, in a state or in a particular sort of radius, let's say 20 miles or less, you don't need to spend a great deal of money. You can spend as much, as little as $5 to $10 a day. But if you're going sort of more regional, you're going right across the southern United States, or you're going across the whole country, then you need obviously a lot more budget because there's a lot more inventory available in there. And we like to go for about $150 to $300 a day if you have that when you're going national. There's a payoff here there, and this is, I think, what a lot of people don't capture, particularly small businesses, is that the more you put in, the quicker the results come back. If you're going to put $5 a day, you're going to have to wait
a long time.
That's right. If you wait, you don't want to wait for months until you get a result. So you put a little bit more skin in the game, and you're actually going to the market, to a live market, and saying, do you want what I have to offer? And you're going to a live market, so you can do all the research you want. But the great thing is that you're buying data from the market in real time. And the more that you put in, the quicker you'll get the data coming back, which allows you to make the decisions you need to make.
And I always say to everyone that test the budget which you can afford to lose. Don't expect anything back in return.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't.
Yeah.
You're going literally and going to the market. I mean, you've got two alternatives. If you really want to sort of dumb it down, you can either go to the street and ask everyone, are you interested in my gardening plants? Are you into gardening? No, yes, no, yes. You can spend all day doing that for weeks and days on end and said, well, do you like my bonsai trees? Do you like bonsai trees? You can do that, or you can do that through advertising. So either you spend the time going out asking everybody in the street, or you go and do it there. You're going to ask and find out what the market wants.
And this is a great analogy which you just said, that you go physically and ask. You're cold, you don't, that other person doesn't know you. They say no, but then you keep on doing it. But when this happens online, straight away it's Google's fault, it's Facebook's fault, or they rip me off. Is because that person is a cold visitor to your site. They need to build that rapport, and then that's where the remarketing comes in.
Exactly.
And that's most people don't invest or don't do at all.
That's right.
Because the budget is so small, the audiences are very small.
Yeah.
They don't have a big enough audiences, and then nothing works.
Exactly.
So you need to invest a little bit in testing, because in my humble opinion, there aren't any alternatives other than Google and YouTube.
No.
If you got a pain in your you lost your keys, you locked out, you're broken down in the car, you're not going to go to TikTok or Facebook for sure.
No,
to find somebody.
You're going to go to Google. Exactly. And that's on the Google sort of search ad side of things when you've got something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you have to. I think a lot of we've seen this when you're with all clients, big and small, that when you go and start advertising, it's like, I'm losing this money. No, you're investing in collecting real responses from the market to say whether they like what you have to offer or do not like what you want to offer. What is it better? Is it better to wait a year trying to figure out whether what you have to offer is going to work or not, or sell or not and make you money? Or is it better to wait and invest some money for, let's say, 1 month, 6 weeks or something, and say, oh, they don't want this, but maybe then what you have to offer doesn't work. You have to, you can say, well, instead of waiting 6 months, a year, trying to figure out my business isn't working, this is not selling, go and find out what people want. And you can do that very efficiently with advertising. And not only just to make money, but to discover how to stop losing money.
Absolutely. Now, before our Sundays melt in this heat.
Oh, good Lord! Yes, everybody, look! Look at this! Look at this! This is the low-calorie version. I hasten to add.
Absolutely, but it's allowed once. Well, you're traveling anyway.
Oh, okay. I will try to lose the calories in my car, my hire car. So,
one last tip which you would give to somebody starting out with YouTube video ads.
So, just be patient with yourself. Don't. It's a good question. Just be patient when you're doing YouTube ads. Don't be frightened of the camera. People will be buying from you ultimately. Yes, there is lots of competition, but they'll be buying from you. So don't be frightened. Go out there, be patient, and do invest. Do invest, because honestly, it's the quickest way to get answers for you as a business owner than to try and just think and hope something's going to work. This is real. You can go out and touch stuff and actually get your own test running, right? Brilliant. You can find out what the market, whether they're going to be interested in what you have to offer or not. So brilliant. It's just such a way. We just got wonderful access to this technology, and we should use it. We should use it as business owners.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much. Lovely to meet you again.
You're welcome. And let's tuck in, shall we?
Let's tuck in. And thank you everyone for joining in.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll put your details around the video. So,
great.
Thank you for watching. Bye for now.
Thank you, Jose. Bye-bye.